Hi, my name is Daisha Donner, and I'm the director of Apple Blossom Community School. We're located at Rail River Folk School here in Bemidji, and I am here today with you through Peacemakers Resources, just sharing some tips and ideas that might be helpful, especially in these unprecedented times. I have had 15 years of childcare experience before we moved to Rail River Folk School, and we're becoming a very small private school now. But in my past experience as a childcare provider and through training that I have been taking in Portland, Oregon, the Waldorf teacher training, I have some hints and ideas that I think might be helpful. And my first video was all about rhythm, and there are a couple of things that I forgot to say that I thought might be helpful about rhythm, and then we'll move on to some ideas for self-care and getting through transitions during the day. So the first thing I wanted to mention about rhythm was that rhythm can be really helpful in avoiding power struggles with young children, and you might do this already, but I did want to mention it because the rhythm, if you have a nice steady set rhythm and kids know what to expect, then you can blame the rhythm if it's not time to do something, or if a child is wanting to do something but you need to be moving on to something else because that's part of the rhythm. And kids get used to that, but of course they always have things that come up that they want to be doing, and so it's easy to say something like, oh, I see you want to keep playing, but right now we need to tidy up and get ready for snack. Or if they're in the middle of something with their blocks and they just had this great idea, you can acknowledge that they had a great idea and say, oh, I know that you have a really great idea and a way to play with the blocks, but right now we're getting ready to go outside, so let's save your idea for tomorrow, or whatever it might be. But to rely on the rhythm and use that so that you can take away some of those power struggles that might otherwise happen between you and a child. And then the second follow-up about rhythm that I wanted to mention was that the more that you are in tune with the seasons and the seasonal rhythm, the better that you and the children will feel. So if you kind of know the feeling of each season, we kind of naturally know this, but we're just so busy these days, and there are so many ideas all the time of things that we could be doing with young kids. And so if we can keep in mind the seasonal rhythm and kind of get back to that natural flow, it helps us simplify, and I'm all about simplifying. So spring is a time for growth and rebirth and reawakening, and bringing those ideas to your circle time in the spring, or to your songs and finger plays, is, will feel natural. And then summer, we all want to be out. We want to be out and about, and we want to be social. And now we'll have to see what happens with what the guidelines will be for us this summer. But that is a natural feeling to want to be outside and want to be social in the summer. And then fall is a dying down time. It's a time for harvest, and it's a time for preparing for winter. And so some of those seasonal activities that you do around harvest are really important. And then winter is a time to go inward, and it's time to be cozy and to bring warmth to the children. Warmth and light is kind of my theme in the winter. And of course we still want to get outside if we can, go for a walk or get the kids out for an hour to play each day, even in the winter if you can. I know that that's tricky with infants and toddlers, but it's also time to, get out those warm, cozy blankets, tell stories, read books, you have rituals like hot chocolate or tea time. So all those things that we kind of naturally want to do are part of that connection to the seasonal rhythm. So I just wanted to mention that too, about rhythm and how you can use rhythm in so many different ways. You have your daily rhythm, your weekly, monthly, it's seasonal, and then yearly. And then I also talked about children thriving on repetition in that first video, and the same is true with the seasonal activities and the activities that we offer them. So I kind of mentioned when I first started this video that there's so many ideas all the time that are being given to us through different trainings, and we can go online and we can Google something, we can go on Pinterest. But young children really do thrive on repetition, and they look forward to your little rituals that you bring around the seasons. So don't get too caught up in always having to find something new and something better for the kids, because they really will look forward to that special time of the winter when you're decorating your tree maybe, or maybe you have a different tradition during that time. But they look forward to seeing that over and over through those early years. Or maybe you have a special stuffed animal bunny that only comes out in the spring. And when they see the bunny again, then, it's building their memory. If they're seeing that same ritual happening every spring when they're with you. And let's see if I have another. Oh, and and the fall activities around harvest, they look forward to carving pumpkins every year. It's something that we always do in the fall. And even though adults might like to change it up, the very youngest kids really do thrive on that repetition and seeing something over and over and building on it, and the layering of year after year that they are seeing those activities and understanding more and more and remembering more and more as they grow. So I do want to get on to some tips for self-care during our busy days with young children. And the very first step is to know that you will need to take a moment here and there, so to try to build those moments right into your rhythm and right into your days. Some hints that I have used and that have worked for me is to wear an apron at the start of my day and then take it off at the end of the day. So this is my favorite apron, and if you watch my storytelling videos, you'll see that I put that on for those storytelling videos because it signifies that I am working, and I'm working with young children. So some kind of an apron or a uniform or comfy clothes that you wear to work to signify that you are working and you are with young children can be helpful, because children take so much from us. They need so much. They need so much of our energy, and they need us. And this is perfectly normal, perfectly natural. But we also need to care for ourselves and have those gentle boundaries to be filling ourselves up too, so that we can give to the young kids. Drinking chamomile tea or some kind of herbal tea during the day had been helpful for me when I was doing childcare. You have to be careful, and make sure that your container is safe and that you're putting it in a safe place. But modeling for the kids that you are doing something that's healthy and good for you, and you're taking care of yourself, is good for the kids to know and to see that. And then right along with that, making sure that you're drinking plenty of water every day. Again, just to keep your own health going, and it's good for kids to see that. And then taking a moment before you start your work day to have some kind of ritual. In the Waldorf schools, they often recite a verse. The teachers recite a verse together in the beginning of the day, and we really haven't got that ritual going very well yet, but I do like to try to take a pause and set up my space and get the environment ready for the kids, and then take a moment to get myself ready to greet the kids. So sometimes I do that before I even leave the house to go to work. You are working from home, most of you, I'm assuming. So having a spot or a ritual that you do, saying a prayer, reciting a verse, meditating, lighting a candle and drinking your coffee. I do that one at home. I like candles a lot. You'll probably notice that in my storytelling videos. Anything that you can do to prepare yourself to receive the kids in love. And that's just a beautiful gesture and makes the whole day feel better. Then this next one is sometimes harder than it seems. Make sure to eat. So this can be hard with young kids, and especially if you have infants and toddlers, it's hard to find a time to actually get to eat yourself. But try to sit with the kids and eat and role model at meal times, even if you're able to just take a few bites and sit with them and model. Sometimes then I would end up taking my snack outside with me because I just really needed a little snack, something with protein, to have enough energy to make it through the rest of the morning until lunch. So that was my way of finishing up my snack when they are busy playing and everybody is happy. I just took a moment to take care of myself and finish my snack. Then let's see. Oh, going outside in general can work wonders for everyone. And again, I know this is hard with infants and toddlers, but it is so important for young kids. We would sometimes rock a baby to sleep while the preschoolers played outside. So we would just be sitting outside on, you know, like in a porch swing or something like that, or even standing and rocking the baby while the preschoolers were playing outside, just so that we could get out there. You do have to follow your licensing rules, of course, so, you know, check that. But try to think of how you can make outside time happen as much as possible, especially for those older toddlers and preschoolers. It's just so important. And then I mentioned in my first video about sweeping, and that I kind of discovered a way to take a moment for myself by doing some of that after lunch cleanup. And we had the kids help, and I had my own daughters help with part of the cleanup, and then they would have a rest time, and I would go back and finish the cleanup. And so sweeping is kind of one of those mundane, you know, and you are in a rhythm when you're sweeping. And so I found that was a moment that I could just kind of zone out and take a moment to myself. So that was something that worked for me. And then handwork I wanted to mention too. So having a project that you're working on can also be a way to get a few minutes for yourself. And again, this could be pretty hard to do, and it doesn't always work out, but if you do have that rest time after lunch to get everybody settled, and then knitting or crocheting is pretty easy to pick up and put back down. And children are soothed by seeing adults doing meaningful work, and modeling that for the kids, that you're going to take a moment to do something that's meaningful for you. And then you could be humming, singing a lullaby, those kinds of calming things while you are knitting a row. Sometimes I would get through one row and that was it. But it still felt good to do something for just a few minutes for myself. Well, I know there are other things that you could do, and you probably have other ideas or things that you're already doing to take care of yourself, but I just wanted to mention how important that is and give you some ideas of what had worked for me in the past, and hopefully there was something new in there that you could try. But self-care is just so important. I wanted to let you know about a couple of resources that are really great. Whole Family Rhythms online has guides for each season, and they are now free to download in PDF form, and they have nice ideas around baking and different recipes, painting. There's stories and finger plays. Here's a nature craft, making mandalas. And they talk about nature walks and setting up your rhythm in the beginning of the book too. So there's more information about rhythm. Caregiver meditations, which is nice for that self-care piece. So they have that included too. So Whole Family Rhythms has some free downloads online. And I think that's all for today. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for listening.